CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby.
Hey, what's going on, guys? That's the intro from Constance Carter, who does stuff with Fly Nubian Money. Sometimes we work on the same platform. I have no idea why I played that intro, but either way, though, it's kind of cool, right? Constance is a great artist, and she's also an expert on real estate and investing. So, so if you're wondering why that was up there, it's because for whatever reason, when they hit the button, the button was just doing something other than what the button's supposed to be doing. But anyway, I was reaching out to all of you who were in Money in the Morning because I told you all that there were some updates on this situation with Trump and the tariffs. And you guys saw that the market pretty much collapsed. I mean, just went crazy after he announced the tariffs that would go into effect with Mexico and Canada. So that has happened. And, it's something that I talked about extensively earlier this morning. I also sent you all another link. So if you're wondering why you're hearing from me a lot today, it's because I wanted to really be there with you as you're kind of figuring out what the next move is going to be. For those of you that sell stock options in the Prime program, stuff like that, I can tell you that I'm going about my normal business. Remember, the market's not going to be consistent, but that doesn't mean you have to be inconsistent. Okay, so you don't have to be as volatile as the market is, because the market does this. The market's a drama queen. So let me give you guys the update on what's been happening with the market just so far today. Hit that thumbs up button, by the way. And this is a different YouTube channel. We have multiple channels to just kind of have backups in case we get blocked or something or shadow banned. So feel free to make sure you subscribe to this channel because you're probably not subscribed to it. It says here, U.S. stocks rapidly made back ground after the U.S. and Mexico said tariffs against the trading partner would be paused for 1 month. So both the U.S. and Mexico have agreed apparently to pause their tariffs. As quick as they were announced, they paused it. Stocks initially dropped Monday after President Donald Trump hit several countries with tariffs over the weekend, raising fears that a full-blown trade war would disrupt global supply chains, reignite inflation, and slow the economy. But gains were rapidly dissolving following the announced pause in the trade battle. So apparently, it looks like both the U.S. and Mexico are saying, yo, we don't want that smoke. The Mexicans are like, the Mexican president's like, hey, look, let's talk, right? Whereas Canada's like, we're going to fight a little bit, and that might still have more to it. But it looks like Mexico literally just backed down, and America said, okay, we're going to take our tariff right back. This is heavy. This is big. This is very interesting to me because it gives you insights into the mindset of Trump in terms of how he's negotiating. The reason that the markets didn't react to the threat of the tariffs in the beginning is because they thought he was just talking. They thought that these were just threats. He's not going to follow through. It's not going to be a big deal. And he followed through. So then the market's like, oh my God. So everything crashes because the tariffs actually get implemented. They're like, we didn't think you were going to actually do it. But what they didn't understand is that sometimes the way this man operates is he likes to play games. He plays head games, psychological games with the financial markets. He's been doing this for 40 years. If you know Trump's history, I've been following this guy since the 80s. That's what he does. That's what he does. He did that with like in the 80s with leverage buyouts. He would make people think that he was going to take over a company, maybe because he would start acquiring a lot of shares of stock. And then the rumor would get out, oh, Donald Trump is buying a whole bunch of shares of this company. That means there's probably going to be a hostile takeover. That would push the price of the stock up. And then Trump would sell. He would say, and I was just playing. I'm not really going to buy that company. And in the process, he'd make himself another $100 million. Now, again, I don't know what you think about this. I mean, but he's not a stupid person. As much as we want to convince ourselves that he's a complete idiot, he's not an idiot. He might be a bully, but he's not a dumb bully. He may be a jerk, but he's not a stupid jerk. So I think that what's happened here is that maybe he's proving that he's willing to go to the brink by going to the brink, right? And executing on the tariff with the ability to just literally pull it right back in the event that you give him some concessions so that he can get the appearance that he actually got a victory for the American people. I don't know if you all agree. Tell me what you think, but I think that's really what's been happening here. What does that mean for you in terms of how you can make money from this? Well, it looks like the market is reacting to his moves. They're reacting to his words. They're reacting to his actions. If you did, like this morning, I've made thousands of dollars this morning because I told y'all my strategy is that I buy the dips. That's just what I do. Doesn't mean it's always right. I just do it to keep my own sanity so that I can just say, well, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but this is what I'm gonna do. I've lived my whole life like that. I've been like that with my friends. I don't know if y'all going to the club or y'all gonna go get shot tonight or y'all gonna go do whatever. This is what I'm going to do, right? And that's how I invest as well. And I'm not saying you should invest the same way, but when you have that consistency, that allows you to just watch the world blow up around you, have complete chaos, but that don't mean you have to be part of the chaos. We talk a lot about financial anxiety in the Black Financial Therapy Department, in the Black Business School, where we have our therapists that talk about ways that you can keep money from driving you crazy. That will be one of the things that we've discussed extensively, which is just keeping yourself calm in a chaotic environment. You don't have to go crazy just because the world is going crazy. So for those of you that bought the dip this morning, you've made money in the last couple of hours because literally the very thing that he did that led to probably about, I'm going to guess, maybe $100 billion in economic value being destroyed in a couple of hours has literally led to the resurrection of that same money. I was really surprised. Stocks that I had bought into a few hours ago have already recovered all their losses. If you look at some of the stocks we talk about inside the Prime program, like AST Space Mobile, Oklo, stuff like that, they've all recovered. They're all in the green now. The ones that were in the red, they went from the deep red to shallow red. So some of them have still dropped a little bit. Like Clean Spark is still a little bit negative, stuff like that, by about 1%. But Clean Spark before was negative 3, 4, 5%, right? So ultimately, I'm not telling you what to do. I can just tell you that it would be a matter of just sort of being consistent with your strategy. I think that's the best approach. Now, anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. If you're interested in learning about stock options, we're really good at this in the Black Business School. You can text the word options to the number 87948, and I'll send you some stuff. We have a training called How to Make Money Without Working that's really popular, as well as some other things. So feel free to take a look at that. Also, if you didn't know about this, Dr. Alicia is going to do her Black Love Weekend, which is going to be on Valentine's Day weekend. They're going to bring real experts, not just people who pop balloons because they don't like somebody. There's actually science on relationships and how to get along with your partner, how to get along with your relatives, how to pick the right partner. And if we nail that science and if we get that right, that's going to lead to a massive increase in Black wealth because you'll have families. When you have no families, you can have no wealth. So when you're single your whole life or you can't find the right person or you don't know how to get along with anybody, it impacts your economics because you don't have economic support. You don't have a team. You're doing everything by yourself. And there is no I in team. So if you're interested in picking the right partner, getting along with the people in your life, being a good partner, all these other things, the science is going to be dropped that weekend. So you can go to theblackloveweekend.com to take a look and just see what they have going on. I guarantee you're going to get value because it's not just Dr. Alicia. It's a lot of her friends that are experts in these areas. Okay. We got to listen to our Black experts and stop listening to people on the internet who have an opinion that sounds good. If you agree, put a yes in the chat. All right. So let's talk about these Trump tariffs and what's going on with the market right now. I think I'm getting acute. I need to stop talking so much because I'm losing my voice. Hold on. Okay. All right. So Boyce's voice is back. All right. So here you can see it says here that Trump slapped a tariff of 25% on Mexico and Canada on Saturday, 10% on China. And he's also talked about tariffs against the European Union possibly coming next. He feels that the Europeans have been taking advantage of Americans by selling us all their stuff and not buying our stuff as much as we're buying their stuff. It says here, but a post from Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, following a conversation with Trump, sparked an intraday comeback. She said, quote, "We had a good conversation with President Trump with respect for our relationship and sovereignty. We reached a series of agreements," she wrote in the post. And Trump shortly later confirmed the temporary deal on Truth Social. He says it was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States, wrote Trump, adding that the negotiations for a more permanent deal would continue for the month. So what Trump is basically getting to claim is he's getting to claim that my tactic worked, that it was a win for America, and I think that's what he's looking for. Is it a real win for America? Nobody knows. I don't know. It's up to you to decide how you feel about immigration and all that. But basically, it sounds like he's claiming he got what he wanted, and she got what she wanted. This is really interesting. I think the president of Mexico is a really smart lady. I like the way she didn't respond by being angry and offended. What she did was very different from Canadian President Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau seemed to be somewhat defiant. He spent a lot of time speaking to the American people and saying the cost of your eggs and bananas or whatever are going to go up because this is what's, your president's doing. The president of Mexico had a different response. She literally had, to me, what I thought was the best response, which was no response. She didn't respond right away. She didn't say hardly anything. And so she got on the phone and said, okay, let me figure out how to deal with this guy. And let me see if I can make a concession or two so we can keep the peace. So I think that approach actually might be more effective. I don't know. It's hard to say. But Trump seems like a guy who has a big ego. And sometimes when you're talking about managing a relationship, I personally think that she might have done a pretty good job here. But then again, you never know. You never know. I mean, sometimes you give people what they want. They only come back and ask for more. But it seems like right now Mexico is winning because Mexico no longer has the tariffs in place. Canada's going to lose billions of dollars because they're continuing to fight back. Justin Trudeau in Canada pretty much said that we're going to put tariffs on the United States. So again, I explained in that analogy. I said it's like we're kind of like the economic Debo in the movie Friday. So Debo punches Smokey because he thinks Smokey's not a good friend. Smokey says, well, I'm going to stand up to Debo. But the problem is Smokey can't stand up to Debo. So if he hits Debo back, then Debo then comes back with a double punch and an uppercut and knocks Smokey's teeth out. So Canada, that trade war could escalate. The escalation of a trade war, generally speaking, from an economic standpoint, does not benefit the world. It causes tremendous drops in economic value, and markets tend to collapse. What can happen though is that when you talk about protecting jobs and things like that, then it does end up being something better. Now, one other thing that's happening right now with Trump and in this whole situation with the trade tariffs and all that, it says here that the positive tariffs on Mexico reinforce the bullish view that tariffs for all countries could be a negotiating tool by Trump, and that investors shouldn't overreact initially. Yes, and I agree with that. Trump prides himself on being a negotiator. He prides himself on making a good deal. That's what he's been doing his whole life. Does anybody know? Tell me a yes if you know the name of Trump's book that he wrote 30 years ago. Anybody remember the name of Trump's book? Write it in the chat if you know it. Anybody who studied this stuff for a while. It's called The Art of the Blank. The Art of the Blank. Type it in the chat. It's called The Art of the Deal. The Art of the Deal. So Trump has always prided himself in making deals. So I think what he's probably thinking is, I'm going to go around the world and make better deals for the United States. And do I believe that he can pull it off? I don't know. I do know that he's done a good job making deals for his company. As much as people want to say this man's broke, he's not broke. As much as they want to say, oh, he's in this financial trouble, no, he's not. And I hate that when people start using lies to defend their politics, because this man has a ton of money. He might be a scumbag. I agree with you, Roxy. I think he's probably corrupt for sure. He hung out with a lot of corrupt people. Al Sharpton's corrupt. Him and Al Sharpton were like buddies, but there's mob connections in there. When you're involved in industries like casinos and boxing, very, very dirty industries, without a doubt. But at the same time, if you call him corrupt, that I would agree with you. But if you call him stupid, I would say I think you're wrong. I think that maybe you need to sort of let your emotions not guide every decision or every analysis that you do, and really look at it for what it is and think about your family. So here's more. Let's keep reading. Says here, quote, call us deluded, but we still think that permanent tariffs on the U.S.'s allies will not be a thing, says Thierry Wisman, global FX and rate strategist at Macquarie. Quote, that's because concessions are an easier way to deal with Trump's problems from a cost benefit and game theoretic perspective. So they're talking about game theory. Game theory is a really important economic theory that talks about how you engage in war, how economic war should work, how various forms of war, not just economic war, but any sort of scenario where you're using strategy, where you're playing chess, not checkers. So this is a chess match. Let's see, political. Yeah. So then they say, and Trump likes to make deals. What did I just say? That's what they're saying here. They said Trump likes to make deals. Political and market pressure also weigh in on the parties to make concessions, as in 2018. So there's market pressure, political pressure, things like that. U.S. automakers and big North American supply chains like Ford clawed back earlier losses. So Ford, GM took losses. Those losses disappeared immediately. Constellation Brands, a big importer of spirits from Mexico, was well off of the day's lows and down just 2.4%. The emerging trade war comes as investors are dealing with the biggest stretch of fourth quarter earnings reports. And a key economic indicator, key economic reading on the labor market this week. More than 120 companies in the S&P 500 are reporting their results, including Alphabet, Amazon, Palantir, Disney, and Mondelez. So a lot of companies are reporting their earnings this week. Also, the big jobs report is coming this week, where they're expected to have created 175,000 jobs in the economy. The jobs report will be very big on your portfolios. Also, the VIX, which is the fear index, which measures how nervous investors are. That index shot really high. It spiked to over 20 this morning. Now it's kind of pulled back. So investors are kind of chilling out. They're not freaking out as much as they were this morning, but that doesn't mean that it's over. That means that basically for now, things are a little bit better, but he still hasn't revealed what he's going to do with Europe. He still hasn't revealed how he's going to respond to Canada's attack. He's also not revealed whether or not he's going to be happy with the deal that they're making with Mexico. But certainly things are being rattled up without a doubt. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. We're going to have a real estate investment expert come in pretty soon in our real estate club. So if you have an interest in real estate, feel free to go to drboycerealestate.com. The first month is free, and there's a lot of trainings in there that you can take a look at right away. They can get you started. And I also want to remind everybody that we're going to Ghana. We're taking a group trip to Ghana this summer. And so we do have a travel club as well. We just do a lot of cool stuff in the Black Business School. So if you want to join us in Ghana and want to learn more, you can go to b1voyages.com. So feel free to go to b1voyages.com if you want to travel with some other intelligent people that are interested in wealth and investing. All right. So with that said, if you want to know the assets that I'm buying, I haven't really changed much of anything in terms of the types of stocks that I'm interested in. I gave you guys a list of stocks and what Dr. Boyce is buying in the stock market program. I'm trying to remember what those stocks were. So let me see if I can grab one so we can kind of take a look at it. I think right now it's still a frothy stock market. The market's still heavily overvalued. That's one thing I think you want to keep in mind. This market is not really a great market in terms of buying opportunities, but it is a market where there are some opportunities out there. So one company that I did mention is American Water Works, AWK. Basically, I gave you that list. If you remember, I gave you that list of water stocks because I was telling you that I thought about this because of the fires in LA. But basically, there's like this global water shortage anyway that's already happening, and it's going to get worse. And so I made a list of water companies that industries or investments you can make that will allow you to benefit financially when this shortage occurs. And not to say I'm happy about a water shortage at all. I'm not celebrating it, but hey, if you're going to go through this nonsense, at least you'll be making some money in the process. And let me see if I can find the list. I can even put it in the chat right here. And also I can text it out a little bit later. So if you want to get notifications, profit alerts, you can text the word stock to 87948. So just text the word stock to 87948. And I'll put this list right in here of those water companies that you can take a look at. Feel free. And they're probably a little bit cheaper because the market's down a little bit today. So maybe it's a chance to buy in on something good. So remember, long-term investors do better than short-term investors. So don't be freaking out over short-term news. That's not a healthy way to invest. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I just wanted to come in and give you guys an update and let you know that it looks like the panic is I'm not going to say it's much ado about nothing. There's still a lot of stuff that could be of a concern, but I personally don't think that it's something that deserved the big drop that it had this morning. I mean, literally this morning, the Dow was down 500 points. Now it's only down 54 points. So whatever. Now, I hope you all enjoyed Tim Jackson today. I really believe in what he's doing with lobbyfirst.org, where he's raising money for the Black Super PAC. I think that's something worth exploring because I've known Tim for probably a decade now. He's a good guy. And I'll tell you a personal story about Tim that I never told anybody this story. I could have mentioned it when Tim was here, but I'll tell you now because it's 10 years later. When I was in Dallas, there was literally I got some hostility from a brother down there in Dallas. I didn't even know that it was there, but apparently there was a guy who was offended that he tried to call me and I couldn't talk to because I don't have time to talk to anybody. But he talked to my manager and stuff like that, and he kept wanting to talk to me. And the list of stocks is in the chat, Moon Man. It's right here. And so this guy wanted to talk to me. And sometimes you run into stuff like this, even when you're kind of internet famous or whatever, you run into people that don't understand how busy you are. So they're like, hey, I just want to talk to you for a few minutes. I want to talk to you. It's like, yeah, I'd like to, but I can't talk to everybody. I got, 2 million people that follow me. I can't talk to everybody one-on-one. And this guy was so mad that I didn't know this. Tim said, I found out that these guys were going to jump you. They were going to try to beat you up after the event. Ain't that crazy, right? They're going to beat me up. Now, mind you, I know karate. I'd have got the whooping ass. I ain't scared of nobody. But just that idea that this was happening, that this threat was there, and I didn't even know about it, and it's ghetto as hell. It's kind of ridiculous. But Tim literally told me, he said, I told those guys, if you mess with him, you messing with me, and you're going to be fighting me too, right? And he told me this 4 years after it happened. I didn't even know this was happening. Now, again, I had like a little bit of security, but not as much as I might have now. But literally, I was like, wow, I didn't know I was about to get into fighting somebody. And it's kind of, it was so stupid to me because it's like, dude, we're in our 40s. We shouldn't be. I think I was 45 years old. I'm like, this is so immature, but apparently that was what was going on. So this is why, if you ever want to know why I'm loyal to Tim Jackson to the end, is because of that story. And then also the fact that I've just seen how he's navigated himself. I respect him. He's a great, husband, father, solid man, took care of his mama, just stuff that I admire, like the stuff I think Black men are supposed to be doing. And a lot of y'all are already doing that. A lot of you exist, and they don't put you on TV. They don't honor men like that. They put degenerates out there and have our kids looking up to men who are not even real men. Right? And so I want to give a shout out to all the real men out there and all the young men who want to be real men. Get those role models, listen to them, pay attention, respect those elders, and let's build our community. Let's take care of our people. We got this. Stop being scared. Stop believing that white man controls how successful you can be as a Black person. I do not believe that. I believe you define your destiny. And I'm gonna believe it till the day I die. So Tim is one of those guys, and that's why I really respect him and just have so much admiration for him. And so the website for that the lobbying group that he's putting together, he's got a full board and everything else. So it sounds to me like it's much more solid than what we've seen before, because we've had some mistakes before, right? And the website is lobbyfirst.org, and I am a donor if you want to know what I'm donating to, and I will donate more money. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. Have a good day. God bless you. And I will check back in with you a little bit later. So make sure you're on the text list and all that stuff. Text the word morning to the number 87948 if you want to be invited to our morning class. There's over 1,000 of you that come in every morning. It's great to see you every day. So text morning to 87948. And it is Lobby First, fully spelled, just all letters, no numbers in there, Patricia. So God bless you. You guys have a great day. And I'll check in with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.